New York Public Library's 2018 publication encouraging people to read genealogies includes discussion of using family histories to learn local color, forgotten customs, and personal anecdotes relevant to your own family. Delve into those three areas here in part 2 of Why Read Genealogies. Here's what it says about local color. Family histories contain details about customs, personalities, and historical events that may not be available from any other sources. Some local color in Black genealogies includes quirky neighborhood personalities, recurring community events, and special haunts and myths. And now back to the article. It then turns to forgotten customs. It says, many family histories contain colorful descriptions of local customs that might otherwise be lost to time. With respect to Black genealogies, eating, singing, and reading habits around food, songs, and books are among the prominently mentioned customs. And the article goes on to say, an appealing example is found in family genealogy comprising the ancestry and descendants of Jonathan Barlow and Plain Rogers of Delaware County, New York. In that book, it says, when John Ellison was appointed overseer and granted 4 acres of land in 17th century Hempstead, Long Island, he was required to furnish the town with 2 gallons of rum to drink. A tradition we think should be revived and applied to New York City developers. Your ancestor may have worn a suit like this, as seen in the Colcord genealogy, descendants of Edward Colcord of New Hampshire, 1630 to 1908. Other customs from the era are better left to history. For example, according to the Barker family of Plymouth Colony and County, 1901, when Isaac Barker was driven insane by a sermon, circa 1740, he was chained by his waist to a windowsill in a large room of the homestead. Thank goodness we don't have to rise at 3 a.m. to scythe the neighbor's hay, supply the leather for our shoemaker, or eat from a shared wooden trench. Just to list a few of the local traditions we found described in online families' histories. But however happy we may be to bury these practices in the past, it is still thrilling to discover the details of our ancestors' daily routines. So next, the article talks about personal anecdotes. It says, family histories often include biographical sketches and oral histories of people who lived in the same place at the same time as your ancestors. These stories can reveal what life in that community was really like. An example is this vivid description of Noah Baker in A Genealogy of the Descendants of Edward Baker of Lynn, Massachusetts, 1630. On page 35, that book says of Noah Baker, he was a separatist Baptist preacher, settled in Sunderland, Mass., and spent most of his life there. Honorable Osmond Baker writes, I remember his visiting my grandfather when I was very small, for his having a shiny bald head and for his incessant and voluble talk on religious subjects. An old man here of a former generation, when asked if he ever heard him preach, replied that he, quote, never heard him do anything else, unquote. For those who trace their ancestors back to 18th century Sunderland, such anecdotes convey an intangible flavor of life in that place and time, and may reveal as much about your family's experiences as official documents or facts about direct relatives. That's it for reading genealogies to learn local color, forgotten customs, and personal anecdotes. Next, the article moves to the benefits of reading genealogies to flesh out understanding of family-level impacts of historic events. See the next installment, that is part 3 of 6, for more on reading genealogies to better understand historical events.